Hey y'all, welcome back to the Dave D. Wash Show. Another installment here. This one's pretty good. Comes from the sports arena. The St. Louis Blues went into the Stanley Cup against the Boston Bruins. The Boston Bruins. Who is it? Ted Darling? Ron Darling? I don't know. Remember? Hockey Night in Canada. The Boston Bruins. So Boston, storied hockey team with multiple championships. Bobby Orr, right? Just wonderful, great hockey players in historical sense. And the St. Louis Blues, good hockey team, had some good players on it, but no championships. Went into this Stanley Cup, and they looked raucous. They looked fast and young. A lot of loose hockey, not that controlled, polished hockey that you usually see in the Stanley Cup. A lot of hitting. St. Louis is a big hitting team. They got a lot of defensemen that like to use the boards, that like to hit in the open ice. I mean, it's that lesser smash mouth brand of hockey. When I say lesser, for me, it's not as, tight and polished. I love watching, the Great One or Super Mario or any of those guys. Jaromir Jagr, Pittsburgh, and the Oilers, all your dynasty teams. When you had individuals that had exceptional skating skills, exceptional stick handling skills, great passing skills, and unreal shooting skills, and not one, but maybe a handful of individuals, 2, 3, 4, on the ice that could do that. It makes it a whole different game. And the Russians, right, the Eastern Bloc nations, the Canadians, when you live on the ice and you just crush through all these, lesser level teams, you weed out and find individuals like that, like Wayne Gretzky. Rare, but my God, different brand, different level. The Tiger Woods of hockey. None of that in this one. They had Pasternak, he was pretty good, but and you had a whole slew of players. No superstars, right? I don't even know if there were any 50 goal scorers. Maybe Pasternak, I don't know. But St. Louis played a smash mouth brand of hockey. This thing went to 7 games, and the last game was in Boston. And sure as shit, if they didn't beat the Bruins, which they should have. They were up by 2-1. They were up, multiple times during the series. They looked like the team that should have won. The St. Louis Blues. So they did. They won the Stanley Cup. Yeah, first time in franchise history, 197,000 years, whatever. I think they were one of the second expansion teams. They weren't one of the original 6 or whatever hockey teams. Maybe they were. I don't know. The manager, the general manager, I think right now, the GM, he's not the coach, Bret Hull, right? The Golden Bret. And if you don't know who Bret Hull is, you got to go back to the late 90s, early 2000s. The Golden Bret is in the Hall of Fame. And he played for the Blues, I think. Played for a number of teams, I think. But exceptional shooter, exceptional skater, exceptional passer. But he had a wicked shot. And they called him the Golden Bret because his father, Bobby Hull, who also played for the St. Louis Blues and a handful of other teams, and they are Canadian, of course they're Canadian, was the Golden Jet. Blonde-haired, exceptional at every aspect of the game, was a prodigy. Broke scoring records, right? First 50 goal plus season. The Golden Bret had 50 goal plus seasons. I think he was 4th in all-time scoring. I think he had, an 86 goal season. I mean, these two, father and son, could skate, could shoot, could pass. They were, big guys. They could play D. They were wingers. Just lightning on ice, right? So the Golden Bret's the GM at the St. Louis Blues. And so he was on the ice for some of the opening ceremonies. You'd see him in the box or what have you. I mean, he's the linchpin for hockey in St. Louis presently. And he moved from the playing state to the legendary state to the Hall of Fame state to the back office state. And hockey's his life, just like it was his father's life. And these guys make this sport exceptional. Well, he tends to drink a lot. The Golden Bret. And so they had the winning day parade in St. Louis. And he's bombed with a beer on stage. And they give him the microphone. And this dude is known for some outlandish tactics, right? Meaning, he doesn't have a governor. He says what he wants. So he gets on stage, and instead of, the normal chant, he goes, "Let's go Blues." And he stops and he goes, we went. We won. So then he goes, "We went Blues." And he starts chanting, and nobody in the crowd has made the connection. We went Blues. We went Blues. We went Blues. And he's hammered, and he's sort of slurring, and he's walking around, and he's very dynamic and excited. He's gesticulating.
Oh, here we go. Ric Flair.
Look at his t-shirt. No one in history could have imagined how this day would ever end. And guess what? It's not gonna end.
Well, his t-shirt is the famous picture from the ice of Bret giving a hand gesture.
Yes.
That we've all come to recognize.
You can say "Let's go Blues" all you want, but you know what? We win. We win Blues. We don't have to go anymore because we already did it. These guys won the Stanley Cup for this city. There is nothing more they have to do. So instead of saying "Let's go Blues," we're gonna say "We went Blues." We went Blues.
Well, I can't.
That's the Hall of Famer.
I can't quite determine if that was the best TV of all time or the worst TV of all time, but it was certainly entertaining.
Bret Hall in his element. I think he's been partying a little bit today.
And this goes on for a while. The stage has ceremony, right? So then he gets up there, and I'm going to view a moment here now where it's the theme song. When you go to the hockey games, they sing it. It's Gloria, 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 I think you want my number, whatever. He played at the games. Well, he starts singing it. So let's watch this.
And they are the champions. Glory, Gloria, Gloria, Gloria.
No,
I think I got your number, Gloria.
I think you got my number. He's hammered, holding a beer, having a blast, telling everybody in St. Louis they did it. They brought it home. And this shit's not gonna end. It's awesome. But it's not normal to see, especially nowadays, where you had impaired or outlandish behavior. I mean, it is, especially in the athletic world. But it's funny to see, especially in hockey, from some old dude who's a legend, just up on stage bomb. So it was cool to see that, and these clips are pretty funny. I'll shoot some in here of him on stage, lit, and the people in St. Louis screaming, and they brought the Lord Stanley's Cup home, which is cool. I don't know when the last time was you had two U.S. teams that went to the Cup. I mean, it happens. You know, Boston and Pittsburgh, and down here in Tallahassee, you had the Sharks, the Tampa Bay Sharks, and, you know, whatever. Colorado, the Colorado Rockies. So there are good American teams, but they're riddled with, I think these teams were different. And I think the Bruins had 20 Americans on the hockey team, which is probably why they lost. But anyway, how entertaining to watch the Golden Bret on stage bombed, jibing and provoking and carrying on with the people of St. Louis after they brought home the Stanley Cup. Awesome to see. Awesome to see. And you know what? Hockey sort of dwindled, but this thing, I enjoyed some of it. I didn't watch the whole series. I enjoyed some of it, and it was pretty cool to see. So go Golden Bret, and if his father were around, the Golden Jet, I'm sure he'd be pleased, or he'd be mortified. Like, get off the sauce, you damn drunk. What are you doing? Maybe. All right, that's my take on the little sports arena these days. Wanted to share that. Comment, like, subscribe, share, do whatever. Thanks for watching the Dave DUI Show.